So, Bali. Everyone's talking about it, right? These new guidelines for tourists kind of causing a stir.
Yeah, for sure. Lots of headlines, but maybe not so much clarity.
That's where we come in. Deep dive time. We've got the official regulations from Governor Coaster, released March 24th. We're going to break it down, give you the real deal on what's changing for visitors.
Exactly. I mean, this is more than just like a knee-jerk reaction to a couple incidents. These are formal guidelines.
With a purpose.
Absolutely.
Oh.
The core aim is to safeguard Bali's cultural integrity, especially those incredible sacred sites.
And it sounds like it's about respect, but going way beyond just how to behave at temples, right?
Totally. The guidelines really stress modest, respectful clothing. And that applies everywhere, not just religious sites. We're talking restaurants, shops, even just strolling down the street.
Wow.
It's not just about what you wear either. Swearing, causing disturbances, rudeness, all big no-nos. To locals, officials, other tourists, even online, there's a ban on spreading hate speech or misinformation on social media.
So they're really covering all bases. Now let's zoom in on sacred sites like those iconic temples. What are the specifics there?
Well, the rules get very detailed, very traditional. Entering sacred areas for worship, traditional Balinese attire is a must. There's also an explicit prohibition on menstruating women entering these sacred temple areas, and of course, entering without permission, climbing on sacred trees or monuments, taking inappropriate or nude photos, all strictly off limits. It really, really underscores the sanctity of those places.
Definitely sends a message. But beyond the cultural etiquette, there are also some very practical regulations, right? The kind of stuff that just makes sense for responsible tourism.
100%. Things like using licensed guides, staying in licensed accommodations, following traffic laws, of course, and only exchanging currency at authorized outlets.
Makes sense.
Oh, and big one, no littering. And working without proper permits, definitely not allowed.
And of course, Bali's known for its natural beauty. So the ban on single-use plastics fits right in, right?
Totally. No plastic bags, styrofoam straws, or single-use plastic drink packaging. It's part of a bigger picture, commitment to sustainability, going hand in hand with preserving that cultural heritage.
Speaking of commitment, let's talk about the tourist levy. It's been around, but it sounds like they're really putting their foot down on enforcement now.
Right. So 150,000 Indonesian rupiah, about €9, goes towards conservation efforts. What's new is that the guidelines clearly state that if you don't pay, you can be denied access to attractions. And any violation of these new rules, there can be legal consequences under Indonesian law.
Not messing around.
Sure.
It's interesting, these new rules came out just before Nyepi, the Balinese Day of Silence. Is there a connection there?
Oh, definitely. It adds context. Nyepi is profoundly spiritual. The whole island goes quiet for 24 hours, no exceptions. Tourists have to stay indoors. These guidelines dropping right before Nyepi. It shows how serious the authorities are about enforcing the rules, period. In fact, Governor Coaster even mentioned a special monitoring team.
So big picture, what's Governor Coaster's message with all these changes?
Well, he keeps stressing that regulations need to evolve. Times change, right? But the goal remains the same. Tourism that respects Bali benefits Bali. He's been pretty clear about it. He said, we expect our guests to show the same respect that we extend to them.
I like that.
And he also mentioned that naughty tourists, well, they're going to be dealt with firmly.
Setting expectations. So for our listeners out there, the takeaway is pretty straightforward. Respecting Bali's culture and environment isn't optional anymore. It's the law, and there are consequences.
Yeah, absolutely. Bali's taking action. They want tourism that works for them, not against them. That means protecting their cultural heritage, those unique traditions. These guidelines are all about creating a more sustainable, culturally sensitive experience for everyone.
Makes you think, doesn't it? Other popular destinations, are they going to follow suit? And what's our responsibility as travelers? When we visit a place with strong cultural norms, do we have a duty to adapt? Lots to ponder there.